All right, Tyler Perry fans. Well, this video is kind of following up from I guess you can almost call it like a news story, if you will, on the 28th of September. So basically, a couple of days ago, Keke Palmer tweeted out, "I want to be like Tyler Perry when I grow up. He's like a modern Walt Disney," and Twitter lost their dang minds. You had people crawling out of the woodworks pretty much stating that, you shouldn't compare those two. And Tyler Perry, I mean, yeah, I admire that you admire his hustle, and so do I, but don't be someone that wouldn't do um the right thing by hiring, black writers, specifically black women, to write for the black female shows. And it turned into a whole mess. And then, Kiki clapped back at a lot of the people and then went on to other subjects. But basically, I just wanted to focus on the tweet itself, because what I'm not going to do is tell someone how they should look at someone who they should admire, and if Kiki's opinion is the appropriate one. That's not what I'm here to do. I just wanted to talk about the initial tweet, give my own 2 cents, and leave the comment section open for everyone else to talk about what they would like to talk about on the subject. So before going further, if you would like to subscribe to the channel, help me hit 1 million subscribers someday, go ahead and hit subscribe. Like the video. Let's try to get to 30 likes on this one. Hit the bell notification icon and select all. That way you're notified when I post new content. And follow me on my various social media platforms. Links are in the description below. So I want to be like Tyler Perry when I grow up. He's like a modern Walt Disney. To an extent, I do agree with the second part about a modern Walt Disney. I mean, at first I was kind of like, wait, what? But then I thought about it, and the thing about it is I had to separate the fact that Walt Disney and Tyler Perry obviously have two separate fan bases, if you will. Where, I mean, I thought instantly, I'm like, well, Walt Disney, animated and whatnot. The only animated thing I remember was the Medea's Tough Love cartoon, which I still haven't watched. I mean, I remember buying it from the $5 bin probably 2 years ago. Never opened it yet. It's not even from oh man, I don't feel like watching. I hate it because I mean, I just haven't brought myself to actually want to watch it. Maybe I'll review it someday, but I don't. Maybe I'll do it in the near future. To be honest, I should have did it this week. This was a slow week for me anyway. But whatever. Maybe I'll pop it in over the weekend. I don't know. But I feel like Walt Disney was more of a children's dream come to life sort of creator, but at the same time, he created things for the whole family to enjoy. Whereas Tyler Perry's, obviously he has a specific fan base and makes content catering to certain people. But to be completely honest, yeah, I don't really want to go in, at least at this point in the video, regardless of the quality. Let's just talk about the fan bases. I do think that Tyler Perry, especially now with the whole Viacom deal and whatnot, I think that it's safe to say that he has just about something for everyone. Sisters, females, bruh, male, House of Pain for old school Tyler Perry fans, haves and have nots for like the own fan base and whatnot, and Young Dylan for the kids, and Ruthless for those who love the dark and twisted storylines. And yeah, I mean, I can go on, but I will admit, Tyler Perry does have a little something for everyone nowadays in terms of his content. Yes, we'll get to the whole writers thing in a minute, but in terms of fan bases, I think that possibly I would say Tyler Perry has, I mean, from his new studios, he's branched out to attract all kinds of different fan groups. And it's not even just about black people. He has a little something for everyone because, like I said before, when it comes to my movie reviews, when I go to the theater and watch the movies, like what was it? Both of the Halloween movies, Nobody's Fool, Madea Family Funeral, all those films I went to the theater to watch, and it was mostly white people in the crowd. So obviously he has people who aren't just black fans. But in any case, I think that, yeah, Tyler Perry, the hustle, the work ethic, I'm never not going to say I wouldn't want to be like that, not to mention offering opportunities to those. And that's the one thing if nothing else, the fact that he gives opportunities to those who Hollywood hasn't given an opportunity to. Like, remember the early days of his movies when they were really, 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 really good. You know, like a Daddy's Little Girl, or I don't I don't know how I feel about I Can Do Battle by Myself. I'm not going to sit up here and say it's awful. It's like I just haven't seen it. It's not one of the ones I've rewatched like 3 times or more. So if it's one of your favorites, you know, you can let me know in the comments. But you know, Taraji, Idris, you know, from Daddy's Little Girl. I'm just kind of naming like some of the bigger name stars today who really weren't big names back when they were doing those Tyler films. And, you know, Tyler Perry's whole thing is like, you know, I get these people to work on the sets and then it kind of raises their, what's it called? Like their going rate in Hollywood. So people in Hollywood have to pay them at least X amount of dollars. So in a way, not only is Tyler giving people opportunities, but also giving them a chance to boost their acting fees and whatnot. So in the long run, it helps. So even when a movie is very lackluster, at the end of the day, it does help someone's financial credibility, if you will. But the only thing for me is like, you know, the showcase of the talent. But that's just my own opinion. Like I said, I don't work behind the scenes, so I couldn't tell you if Nobody's Fool helped or hurt Tiffany Haddish's career. I mean, Tiffany's kind of been on the, I don't even want to say the back burner, but I think her heyday was like from 2018, 2019. And I feel like now she's probably more in the Kevin Hart lane in regards to started out with the black fan base, but then slowly shifted to the white fan base. Like I remember a couple of the last movie trailers I saw her in, like one had to do with like, what was it, like a Thanksgiving dinner movie or whatever. And it had a mostly white cast. I'm like, yeah, it kind of reminded me of the crossover effect where you have a comedian or actress or actor where they start out with the black fan base, but then they become crossover and then go from there, which honestly, no shade to her. Like by all means, like Tiffany Haddish and so many others of these big stars, they aren't my favorite comedians nowadays, but go ahead and get that money. I ain't going to be mad at you for that. But I think that people were going in because, you know, she stated an opinion. I don't know what had people more upset. I think it was the Walt Disney factor, because I'm looking at the tweet right now. And let me just click on it, see if I can pull up some of these. Oh, sis, no, I don't think so. Y'all, she respecting his hustle. Leave Keke alone. You know, that's literally the problem. I don't know. He's just, okay, bad grammar, but he's just be open to hiring writers and not being anti-union. Simply, his work did impact me as a kid in many ways, so I have to respect what he has done, but that doesn't mean there is room to see flaws or mistake. I'm not understanding the hate in the comments. Do people not understand the caliber of what this man has done? Agreed. Please hire writers if you do. Okay, that was funny. He did it his way. I respect that. Okay, I like that because Walt Disney and Tyler Perry both did it their way. And if I remember correctly, I know people were just very upset at Walt. Oh, sorry, hit my computer. People were upset in the company because Walt Disney was working on Snow White. Pretty much the fact that it was a huge gamble because Snow White was like the first animated film, you know, not a short like a Steamboat Willie or whatnot. So from there, I really feel like he took a gamble and it worked out. So I agree. It's really cool. Sorry, I'm not ignoring the video. I'm literally just scrolling through the tweets to find some good ones. Respect the drive, but strive to do better. His depictions of black women are problematic, to say the least, and hire young black writers. Oh my God, yes, the way he depicts black women is horrible. Yeah, that was kind of like the one tweet that started the avalanche. And I feel like whenever Tyler Perry, you know, does something, that's the first thing people go to. I totally agree with you, Keke. Tyler has done so much for people. I applaud him and he keeps me laughing and on my toes. Keep doing you, Keke. Yeah, that's the one thing I will say, like, just because you see somebody do it, that should be an inspiration, but that doesn't mean you have to do things the way they want to. Wow. Tyler Perry is about as rich as Walt Disney at the time of his death when adjusting for inflation. Both men branded everything. I agree. All the people bashing Walt Disney up in here can't do 1% of what he has, though. Delete this before it's too late, sis. We want you to win. Yeah, some people are saying delete it before you get dragged. It's just, well, yeah, the first part of the tweet I get. I feel like the dragging would have came from the Walt Disney. It's almost like I'm just gonna throw something random out here. I mean, well, I think a current example is the whole, what is it, Taylor Swift folklore beating out Whitney Houston's for the, what is it, the most consecutive weeks that a female artist's album has been the top of the Billboard charts, and people went in. And again, like I said before, I'm a Taylor Swift fan. Folklore, not my genre, so I didn't really have that big of an opinion on the album. It just wasn't for me per se. But you know, number one, records are meant to be broken, and number two, not to kind of diminish, like, congrats to her on the success, but not to diminish the accomplishment she made, but to be kind of, I guess you could say, subjective to the whole accomplishment. It's just the fact that due to the pandemic and whatnot, there aren't a lot of albums out there to compete with. So for it to be the top for this long, you know, it's kind of like when Ariana Grande was like, what was like just murdering it from Thank You Next album and whatnot. She just blew up. She dominated the charts for a long time, but there weren't a lot of competitors at the time. But, you know, again, that's how the music industry is. So it is what it is. But, you know, like the Tyler Perry, Walt Disney is like Michael Jackson versus Beyonce, or Rihanna versus Beyonce. It's basically a versus kind of thing. But I will say that Tyler Perry, I mean, let's be honest here. Tyler Perry, to some young people, were, you know, Tyler Perry is to some young people what Walt Disney is to some young people. You know, like people who grew up watching the Disney films and Disney shows like me, obviously kind of have more of a nostalgia factor to Disney. And then there are kids nowadays who grew up with the Medea films and whatnot. I think I was in like middle school or whatnot, or high school, when I saw the plays and whatnot on DVD. So obviously I have some nostalgia for them. Hence why I say like Tyler's early stuff is a hell of a lot better than the stuff he's putting out now. So it is what it is. But if we're strictly talking about work ethics, the studios and whatnot, by all means, yeah, the comparison's there. But yeah, who are you to just tell someone who they should and shouldn't look up to? So if Keke wants to look up to him, again, I mean, we could use some more Tyler Perrys out there, male and female, in regards to black people who really take to heart the importance of ownership, but at the same time, you know, allow opportunities for others and get writers. Because, well, let me just say this much. It's like I've said time and time again in my Tyler Perry needs writer videos. I don't think that Tyler Perry's work has the longevity of a, you know, Disney or Walt Disney picture. What I mean by that is, and not to go on a whole writer's rant thing, because in every video I post, everybody says the same thing, and no fault, because I agree. A lot of Tyler's current stuff, I don't think has the staying power. I feel like it just, it comes out. I feel like there's more bashing than praising of the work that comes out, and then the shows just disappear. They just fade out, like the Pains. We don't even talk about that. We kind of shift towards how bad the current House of Pain is. I mean, the first few Medea films, like, I mean, yeah, look at BET. Like, a lot of the Tyler Perry films they put in rotation are the ones people actually want to watch. I don't think they've ever played Nobody's Fool or the Medea Boo movies. I mean, I could be wrong about that. I just know I haven't seen them. And then the first few seasons of the Haves and the Have-Nots. And then the OG House of Pain and Meet Browns. Those are the shows that will last the test of time. But in regards to a lot of the current stuff, I don't think it can. But it's just me. But let me know your thoughts on Keke Palmer's tweet. And yeah, I just clicked. Yeah, she was in the Medea, what was it, Family Reunion. And she was in the first episode of Meet the Browns. So there you go. But let me know your thoughts, your opinions. Who do you look up to? You know, like Keke looks up to Tyler Perry, but who's your inspiration in the entertainment business? And as always, if you would like to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal, Cash App, or join Patreon for as little as $1 a month.